Overregulation and effects on economic growth.
Regulation. Imposition of rules by government backed by the use of penalties that are intended specifically to modify the economic behavior of individuals and firms in the private sector. The Antitrust Act breaks up monopolies in the United States and is an example of a successful regulation in a developed country. In the developing world, regulation prevents high barriers to economic activity.
However, overregulation stunts economic growth, particularly in less developed countries. In more developed countries, regulation keeps firms in check and keeps markets competitive. But overregulation, a practice often used by LDC governments, welcomes corruption and presents barriers to entering markets. The flower on the left represents a proper amount of regulation. The flower on the right represents government overregulation stunting economic growth.
Fernando de Soto, a Peruvian economist, attempted to open a one-person clothing shack in Lima with the intention of paying no bribes. On 10 occasions, he and his team were asked for bribes, and twice they were forced to pay those bribes. It took them 42 weeks and 11 permits to legally open the shack. De Soto's experiment is an example of how hard it is to enter a market with overregulation.
More barriers in markets results in less firms selling goods and services. The aggregate supply shifts left, and as a result, GDP falls and price level increases. Sellers, not consumers, will have complete control of price in some markets, which is detrimental to the economy.
Brain drain is the immigration of highly trained or intelligent people from a particular country. As overregulation strangles an economy, highly skilled individuals are incentivized to leave the area in favor of a place with more prosperous job opportunities. This leaves the original area with a deficiency of skilled workers, which further hinders any economic development.
Stakeholders that benefit are established firms who have the ability to charge unfairly high prices with little competition, and the government in the short term who receives bribes from firms who wish to operate. Stakeholders who are negatively affected are consumers who have to pay unfair prices because there is no competition among firms, and the government in the long term who lose their skilled workers from a damaged economy and can no longer fill government positions, and firms who are new to the economy who have no chance of establishing themselves.